Welcome to the video tutorial series about installing the SUN2000 12 KTL to 25 KTL. These video tutorials demonstrate how to install the SUN2000 12 KTL to 25 KTL inverter and connect cables. In the first video, we'll walk you through mounting the inverter safely on the wall. Before you start, please read the quick guide carefully to learn about product information and safety precautions. Only trained and qualified electrical technicians are allowed to operate the device. These insulated tools are required. First of all, check that the items in the inverter packing case are complete and intact. Now let's get started. Firstly, determine a proper position for installing the inverter. This position should sustain the weight of the inverter and comply with local safety regulations and building standards. The inverter can be installed indoors or outdoors. To install the inverter outdoors, you are advised to select a sheltered area or set up an awning. During the installation, ensure that the clearance meets the requirements to prevent derating of the inverter. You are advised to install the inverter in a high position out of children's reach to prevent electric shock. Let's unpack the inverter. Take out the inverter from the packing case and place it in a safe position to prevent damage. Then let's take out the wall mount bracket and screws from the packing case. Place the wall mount bracket against the wall and adjust it to the horizontal position. Mark and drill holes in the planned installation position. Install expansion bolts in the holes on the wall. Continue securing the wall mount bracket to the wall. Next, two operators should lift the inverter and install it on the wall mount bracket. Ensure that the inverter is installed on both the upper and lower edges of the bracket. Do not remove the dust-proof caps from PV terminals and communications terminals. Take out the connection box from the packing case, install it on the inverter, and tighten the screws. Do not remove the waterproof plugs from the connection box, otherwise the protection level of the device may be affected. Now the inverter has been safely installed on the wall mount bracket. In the next video of this series, we'll walk you through connecting cables to the inverter. Cables and signal cables for the SUN2000 12 KTL to 25 KTL. These tools are required. You also need to prepare cables that meet the requirements. Now let's get started. Strip the signal cable to a proper length. If the stripping length does not meet the requirements, the air tightness and waterproof performance of the device may be affected. Strip the output power cable to a proper length. Remove the locking cap and waterproof rubber plug for the signal cable from the connection box. Route the signal cable through the locking cap. Remove the corresponding plug. Route the signal cable through the waterproof rubber plug. Route the cable through the connection box and install the waterproof rubber plug and locking cap in sequence. Prepare signal cable terminals. Insert the wires into the corresponding pins of the terminal and secure the wires. Remove the locking cap and waterproof rubber plug for the AC output power cable from the connection box. Route the cable through the locking cap, waterproof rubber plug, and connection box in sequence. Install the waterproof rubber plug and tighten the locking cap. Prepare AC output power cable terminals. Use a crimping tool to crimp terminals in sequence. Cut the heat shrink tubing to a proper length. Slide the tubing onto a wire. Heat the tubing with a heat gun so it shrinks around the OT terminal. Secure heat shrink tubing on wires one by one. The cable preparation is complete. Welcome to this video tutorial about installing the SUN2000 12 KTL to 25 KTL. This video demonstrates how to connect cables for the inverter in a safe, simple, and intuitive way. These tools are required. Before you start, let's have a quick look at the electrical connection area of the inverter. Ground screws, one for connecting the ground cable to the inverter and the other for connecting to the next inverter in cascading scenarios. DC input ports, communications ports, and AC output ports. In addition, you need to prepare DC input power cables, AC output power cables, signal cables, and ground cables with appropriate lengths, as well as OT terminals. We'll walk you through cable preparation in another video. Before connecting cables, ensure that the DC switch on the inverter and all the switches connecting to the inverter are off. Next, let's connect a ground cable to the inverter. Do not connect the neutral wire to the enclosure as a ground cable, otherwise electric shocks may occur. Connect one end of the DC input power cable to the inverter and the other end to the PV string. Then install the signal cables. On one side of the inverter, connect the signal cables to the corresponding pins of the communications port. Secure the shield layer using a screw, and connect the other side of the signal cables to the power meter. When routing signal cables, separate them from power cables and keep them away from strong interference sources to prevent communication from being affected. When installing AC output power cables, connect cables and tighten screws based on the silk screens on the AC output ports. To ensure that the inverter can be disconnected from the power grid when an exception occurs, connect an AC switch to the AC side of the inverter. Select an AC switch with appropriate specifications in accordance with local industry standards and regulations. Then, install the connection box, seal the unused signal cable holes with waterproof plugs, and tighten the locking cap. If multiple inverters are cascaded, connect communications cables and shield layers. Now the cables have been successfully connected to the inverter. The next video will demonstrate how to install the smart dongle and Welcome to the fourth video tutorial about installing the SUN2000 12 KTL to 25 KTL. These tools are required. Hold the buckles on both sides and remove the upper part of the smart dongle. Insert the SIM card into the card slot according to the arrow direction. Reinstall the enclosure. If you hear 2 clicks, the smart dongle is properly assembled. Welcome to the 5th video tutorial about installing the SUN2000 12 KTL to 25 KTL.